Okay, guys, well, wow, that was a good interview with Jeff. Why don't we just take a moment, everybody kind of individually rank him, and then we'll see where we are.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're all finished. And let's go through in each of our 5 categories and kind of go around, and I'll let you guys all tell me how you ranked the candidate, and we'll kind of come up with an average, and then we'll total those, okay? So in the area of instruction, where did you, Laura, why don't you start us out? What ranking did you give Jeff?
I have 5.
Okay, Anita?
I gave him a 4.
Okay,
And I gave him a 5.
okay. So 4.3, is that what that means?
Calculator up. Yes.
Actually, I have a calculator. .6, I'm sorry. 4.6. Okay, and in the area of management? Dawn?
5.
Okay.
I gave him a 4 in that area. I gave him a 3.
A raise, that would average to be a 4. Okay, and in the area of communication?
4.
I gave him a 5. And I gave him a 5.
Okay. And technology?
5. And a 4.
And in the area of staff development?
4.
3.
3.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna add all these up and give us a total number for Jeff. Jeff's total would then be a 21.34. So that's the number that we will assign to him as we continue on through our rankings.
Okay, great. Now, the only question I guess I'll have with these rankings for you guys, and I'm being serious, is for like management. We were very different there, I thought. Like you were 3 to 4 to 5. So do we need to talk about that, or do we go with the scores?
And we didn't talk about the writing piece either. That was my fault.
I would think that maybe we should go ahead and total up Robert's scores.
Okay,
And then
see where
if
we
they're
are.
not anywhere close, we'll have an obvious strong
Okay.
candidate. And if they are relatively close together in score,
Go back and
then
talk.
maybe we need to go back and discuss. some
Okay,
of
that
areas.
truly is a good idea. Good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so now we're going to talk about Robert. So we'll just talk about instruction. Anita, what did you rank?
I gave him a 5 in
Okay.
instruction. I gave him a 5.
Okay.
I also gave him a 5.
All right. Well, that's nice and easy. And management. Megan?
In management, I also gave him a 5.
Okay.
A 4.
And I gave him a 3.
Okay. All right. And what did that average out to the last time? A 5, 4, and a 3?
It's a 4.
I mean, not do math on Saturday. Okay, and then for communication?
A 4.
Okay.
A 4.
Okay.
And a 4.
Alright. finally, staff development,
4. A 3. 3.
okay. That averages to,
3.6. And if you want to give us the totals, we'll add them up here. Okay, that's easier.
it's a 5. Okay, all right, 5, 4, 4, 4.3, and 3.6.
20.9.
So what was the difference?
The other one was a 21.34.
1.34. Those are two very close. Do we want to take some time to discuss the areas
That we were gray in.
Yeah.
And specifically with Robert, we were a little gray in management.
I think we were with both. The management seems to be a great
yeah.
area for both.
And I'll tell you on Robert, the thing that caused me to rank him a little bit lower was, and this could be with the type of class that it is, but I didn't see that he had a real clear plan. He had some good strategies, but I didn't see that he had a real clear plan for what he wanted to do. But sometimes in that type of class where it's rotating around, he's seen the whole school in a week, to have a real clear plan, you know, I'm not sure that you wouldn't just kind of go with what the regular ed teacher is doing when they're bringing them in.
And that was why I think I probably gave him a little bit higher there, because I was taking into consideration the type of class that he has and the, you know, and trying to implement the strategies with all of the different aspects of the class. And so when he was trying to bring in the things that he does, I thought, well, you know, he's trying real good with the type of class that he has to deal with.
And for me, I noted that he talked about clear expectations. He did talk about the building relationships, and we've all agreed that that is something we want to see our candidates recognize and find important. And then, like Lisa said, he had good techniques, like the cups or the flags, but I do agree with you, he wasn't solid, like this is what I would do. But I think I took that as he's got a bag of tools that he would implement depending on the class, and I think that's okay, and that's, I gave him a 4, so.
And ultimately, like we've talked about, you know, many times, that if you're building those good relationships, the management falls into place very easily, so.
It sounds like
Yeah,
he had
I
very
gave him
good
the 3, but I could
relationships.
definitely move it up to a 4.
Okay.
If that were to become a deciding factor. I think that he probably has good rapport based on the way, you know what, you could just tell he liked kids.
And has very good relationships with the kids.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of why some people may not have given Jeff a 5 in management either. He talked about relationships, he talked about respect both ways, and being flexible, coping, being proactive, like we had all talked about wanting to see, but I didn't see that clear plan either.
Right.
But it sounds like maybe with Robert, there was a little more reasoning behind why there wasn't a clear plan because of the nature of the class. So if we were to change Robert's management scores, there was a 5, a 4, and a 3. And you said you could definitely bump up to a 4 without a problem?
For Robert, yes.
Robert? Do we want to look at changing that overall score and see how that impacts the 2, or is that?
It does
Are we
impact
close
the 2.
enough that we want to consider maybe doing a second round of interviews with just those 2?
You know, I think that's a good idea, that we could do a second round of interviews, and maybe in that second round of interviews, we could include a written piece then, and have them, and really kind of examine how their written communication is, because we know, you know, Robert talked a bit about the media, and he'd be a great resource if he were going to be somebody who can contact the media, but we'd want to make sure that he would represent as well, I think.
And maybe we could really structure that second round interview. It's just mainly to decide between the 2 of them to include some more detailed management questions, because the discrepancies look like they're happening in the management category and then possibly in the staff development. So maybe if we structure some questions just directed more towards those 2 areas and include that written component, that'll help us make our final decision between the 2.
I think that's a good idea.
That's great.
All right, thanks.